it sticks with you. I can't, getting that every single day.
No.
My heart breaks for her. These things were, like you just said, these things were happening to Hailee daily. She was also physically bullied. So I talked about the girl who would bump into her. But mostly so besides that girl, there was a male her age in the same class who was caught pushing her and shoving her around the hallway, calling her fat and ugly and making fun of her seizures. Like, so physical, like, not like punched or anything, but like pushing her around. Like, if you're touching her, you're physically, like,
yeah, that's physical assault. It's unwanted.
The same student, and like I said, I don't have their names. They're only identified by initials in the lawsuit, which, well, I'm not even going to worry about that. So the same student had been suspended previously on 2 different occasions for bullying other students. So clearly the school knows he's a problem. And I mentioned earlier the school knew, which is fucking obvious, they knew about Hailee's bullying and abuse. And what's interesting is this school district actually has a website that allows bullying and harassment to be reported anonymously. 3 weeks before Hailee's death, another student anonymously reported the severe bullying that they witnessed, talking about her getting shoved, talking about all these things that happened in gym class. And when the student came forward and put this onto the website, you know, the student, whoever it was, said, like, teacher saw, like, kids are doing this to her in gym class. And, like, so the school knew, teachers knew, no one did anything.
That's foreshadowing for my case, because I have statistics on when you'll report if you know it's anonymous.
Oh, good. Okay. So, and this was a quote, district policy states that a school administrator must investigate claims within 10 days and report their findings. They are also supposed to notify the parents, but the Lamberths were never told, and the abuse reported was extreme. Like, this kid came forward, and it's extreme that she's like, yo, teachers know this is happening, like, someone do something.
Yeah.
And they still had time. This was 3 weeks before Hailee died. Hailee's dad later tells reporters, quote, without a shadow of a doubt, we wouldn't be here today if the school had informed us of this. School employees are also required to report any bullying to the school's principal. This was also not the case. Like, it just got swept under the rug. What's the fucking point of the website?
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess students and teachers saw the boiling and... Students and teachers saw the boiling. Oh my God.
They saw the boiling.
Students and teachers saw the bullying, and they did nothing until the one reported it, but they still did nothing. After months of severe bullying, mental and physical abuse. Okay, I don't even want to say this, but I feel like I had. What stuck out to me about this case and what's horrifying is most kids and even most people, like almost every other case I started to look up when I was deciding, they hung themselves. Hailee shot herself in the face.
That's really uncommon.
Yeah, it's very uncommon.
Yeah.
So she shot herself in the head at her home just 2 hours after texting her parents, telling them that she had won Math Student of the Month.
Oh my God.
Her 6-year-old brother and her father were the ones to come home and find her.
Oh, no.
Her 6-year-old brother.
Ooh.
Hailee left a couple letters and a suicide note, and the only part that was released said, quote, I only ask that you tell my school I killed myself, so maybe next time people like, bully name withheld, wants to call someone, and then they were really bad words also
like
withheld.
Derogatory words.
Yeah, he won't. So the next time this piece of shit wants to call people horrible names, maybe he won't.
It's curious, because a lot of these cases I looked into, it's people just wanted justice.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't want this person to do this to anyone else.
Yeah, she couldn't handle it anymore, but she also is like, maybe he'll think twice. Like, this will be on his conscience. She's fucking 13. Like, this was 2 days after she turned 13.
That's insane.
And at this time, her parents still weren't told the extent of the bullying for months. So they obviously know something's going on because they see this.
Yeah, they're like, who is that and what is the issue?
Yeah. So in March, a few months later, because she passed away in December, Jason Lamberth, Hailee's dad, met with the school's dean. And maybe you can tell me the difference. There's a school dean, but there's also a principal. It seems like a college thing, not like a...
Yeah, that's odd. Maybe it's a very large school.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the dean oversees the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school in the district.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas
principal,
the principal just does one.
Yeah, so he met with the school's dean and demanded to see Hailee's school records. The dean flat out said, there's no record in her name. Like, nothing got reported. Like, we don't have anything.
Really? Because it seems like some stuff was going on.
Yeah, the dean told him they had nothing. But the next day, he demanded to meet with the principal and again demanded the same. So the principal gives Jason the non-existent file that did exist, which included the online bullying report.
It did exist.
Yeah, it did exist.
What
so
a liar.
The dean tried to... Obviously, the dean would know,
Yeah.
and it's months later. So the dean lied. The principal gives Hailey's dad the file that includes a bullying report. And her parents are stunned, mortified,
And even if the dean didn't know and didn't lie, because it was out of his scope, or her scope, if you don't know, you don't say there isn't one.
Right.
You just go, I don't know.
You're still doing something wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should go, I don't know if there's one. I'll look into it.
Yeah. So months later in March, this is the first time Hailey's parents had ever seen the bullying incident, the online complaint. So now they're reading details about the bullying against their daughter. They were furious, shocked, sad, and I'm sure a million other emotions. So Hailey's parents eventually filed a wrongful death lawsuit against the school, which, fuck yeah.
Yeah, of course.
The lawsuit alleges that the school failed to inform the Lamberths of the bullying, and the lawsuit argues that if they had told them, Hailee would still be alive.
Yeah.
According to the lawsuit, and then this is another, so the principal, I don't remember her name. I don't think it showed her name. But the principal, during the lawsuit, they added to the lawsuit, besides wrongful death, because at some point the principal made statements about Jason, Hailey's dad, saying he was abusing Hailee. So the wrongful death was added to include a defamation suit as well. Ugh. The lawsuit says that the principal made false, malicious statements about Jason. In 2014, and this part's insane. I don't know how I feel about this. So in 2014, so a couple years later... but the lawsuit hasn't been, no decision has been made.
Yeah.
The school, it brings up this battle. So Hailee left that part of the note I read, but she also left a bunch of letters. Mm-hmm. So the school started arguing that they wanted these letters to be made public, and her parents don't. The school fought to have the letters released, saying that Hailey's letters prove she was planning to commit suicide prior to the bullying, which means it isn't their fault, and she couldn't have been stopped. The school literally argued that said they want other parents to see the letters so they would see that it was deep issues within Hailee and that their kids were safe at school, that they did nothing wrong.
Except that kid who bullied people had bullied a couple others, and obviously in hateful ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Hailey's parents didn't want them released. They feared that releasing the letters would hurt Hailey's brother and all the children she mentioned personally in the letters.
And also just her image.
Yeah.
And her memory.
Yeah. So this part fucking bothered me so much. And it was this fact that actually made me... I stumbled across this because I don't know, I pick a couple cases and then I kind of research and pick the one I want to do. And it was this fact that made me choose this case because this part makes me so angry.
Oh, hey.
The school responded to the lawsuit, arguing that Hailey's death was, quote, murder, and that it was her own fault, no matter what motivated it. Per the school's attorneys, quote, of course, as a practical matter, a decedent, so a dead person, cannot be criminally punished, but this does not render the act of killing any less wrongful. The motion claims, quote, Hailey's voluntary suicide is the superseding cause of her death, and therefore it cuts off all liability for the nonfeasance, so the school district, against the defendants. This motion, this part's fucked up too. This motion, blaming Hailee, being like, it doesn't even matter what led her to it. She killed herself. She committed murder against herself, as the school's defense. This motion was filed December 11th. The 10th would have been Hailey's 14th birthday.
Sure.
And the 12th is the day she died. They filed the motion on the 11th, the day between her birthday and her death date.
Dick.
Which seems...
Why not just wait?
Malicious. I don't know. They also again claimed that Jason abused Hailee, and these allegations were investigated and dismissed immediately. Yeah. So the school was like, no, she murdered herself. It's murder.
Suicide is... At first I was like, well, suicide's voluntary, but the actions of your body, you're choosing to do the physical action, but, it's involuntary. You have massive depression if that's happening, and you don't get to pick that that's done to you. And you don't get to pick that people bully the crap out of you when you're 12 and don't know how to handle those emotions. It's absolutely not voluntary.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. Something tells them to do it.
It's kind of disgusting to me that the school was like, fuck it. She murdered herself. It's murder. We're not liable for murder.
And also, maybe look at her dad. And it's there's literally no proof there.
Yeah, and I like read he was investigated and it was immediately dismissed. In 2017, so years later, the court fucking finally ruled in favor of Hailee's parents.
Good.
They agreed that the school did not respond properly to the bullying. The school didn't even respond for their own, like I read the quote of the school district's policy. They didn't even do what their own policy says.
Oh my God.
And they awarded Hailee's parents $700,000, which is like $10 million not enough. And from what I could tell, the letters were never released. Like I Googled it, like nothing ever came up, so I don't. But that's the story of Hailee Lamberth.
Jeez.
Bullied to the point that she committed. I mean, I can't imagine the depression she was already at when she got diagnosed with epilepsy, and I don't know if her condition is what pushed her over, but in her own suicide note, she doesn't even, that we were released, she's not talking about epilepsy, she's talking about being harassed and bullied and called horrible names. And she's this beautiful, cute, little, like, petite, bubbly looking, like long brown hair, glasses, like just this beautiful little girl.
And obviously very smart, won the math award and all those things.
Straight A student, like...
Should we grab another beer?
Yes. Now I'm depressed.
I picked one that I thought Caitlin would like, because Evan biked to get beer, and then he's like, my bag is so heavy, and I was like, why? And there were literally 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 this size cans.
This size being like the tallish can. That's taller than a can. It's
like the same girth as a normal can, but then a taller height. It's 1 pint, whereas a normal can's 12 ounces. Why don't you describe the beer since I described the last one?
Okay. Lost Highway Double Black IPA. Mother Road Brewing Company. Mother Road is good.
Yeah.
Lost Highway is dedicated to the road less traveled. It pours deep black with an espresso-colored head that leads to an aroma of orange zest and roasted malts. Hints of bitter orange chocolate balanced with notes of dark caramel to round out the adventure. 8%.
Oh, my.
Mother Road Brewing in Flagstaff, Arizona.
So we have an Oregon beer and an Arizona beer.
Best enjoyed at 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Cool.
Oh, I was going to be like tilted.
Not ice cold. Classic English pub pint. Pairs with burgers and cheesecake. Bitch, where's my cheesecake?
You're the burger, I'm the cheesecake. We can trade if you want. Do you want me to be
I
the
looked
burger?
upset.
Yeah. Oh.
I just read that it pours dark black, so don't act surprised. It kind of looks like root beer.
I hope it doesn't taste like root beer.
Me too.
Sante.
Oh, I like that.
That is a bitter stout, it tastes like.
That is
I know it's
good.
a black IPA. It tastes like a bitter stout.
It does, but I like it. Because I like I like stouts, but not when they're too sweet.
Yeah, me too.
This is good. Delicious.
This would be great at Christmas time. Not a Christmas beer, but very, very good for, like, winter.
Where'd he buy this at?
These were all bought at Whole Foods.
You fancy.
Evan's fancy. I usually go to Food City.
That's really good. I really like that. It is like a bitter stout. I like it. It's a stout mixed with an IPA.
Yeah, just like we are. All right, are you guys ready for another? You may have seen this case because it was one of those that were in, like, a lot of articles about bullying. This is the case of Angelina Green. Maybe you did not see it. In Indiana. So my sources are an article by Tracy Connor for NBC News.
Thanks, Tracy.
An article from Christine Selleck for Mike.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank
you, Mike.
I think it's like MIC. Oh, okay. An article from Kara Kenny for the Indie Channel. An article from Let's Talk at cyberbullying.com, forevermissed.com, dosomething.org, and legacy.com. All right, trigger warning again, bullying, sexual assault, and suicide. On September 14th in 1998, in Columbus, Ohio, Danielle Green gave birth to a beautiful baby named Angelina, who Danielle and later friends and family would all call Angel. So Angel had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. And as a young girl, the Green family moved from Ohio, where Angelina was born, to West Lafayette, Indiana. So life wasn't that easy for Angel. Her family was lower middle class, and they got by okay. And I'll get into why it wasn't that easy for her. Angel was really free-spirited. She loved to make others laugh. She was really obsessed with, like, funky fashion, which I kind of relate to. She liked zebra print, sparkles, bright colors, things like that. So this is all happening from 6th grade to 8th grade. around the same age as your gal. So Angel genuinely had a positive disposition, despite the fact that something really dark was happening in her life. So unfortunately, Angel's father had been secretly molesting her for years in the family home. And Danielle, Angel's mom, had no idea. And at first I was like, how could you have no idea? But she just really had no idea.
Yeah, but you